Man, oh man, this is the P.A.L show. Wow. Oh my God. When I come here every week and I'm like stressed out and then I hear our music, Valerie Heffron, I'm like so zen. I mean, I feel like I need to light some candles and chill out. But then I remember that wouldn't work because I'm Tommy D and I'm out of control. What's up, gang? It's your boy, the nonprofit sector connector. And this show is the Professionals and Animal Lovers show. It's E's show. It's Val's show. It's Tommy's show. More importantly, though, it's your show. This is your Professionals and Animal Lovers show, and every single week at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we come to you to do a couple of things. We come to you to educate you, to illuminate you. Illuminate? How do you illuminate people, Tommy D? Well, we're going to figure that out. We got 59 minutes to figure out how you illuminate people. But we come together to help you understand how important it is to advocate on behalf of animals. I will tell you something that if you've ever listened to this program, you already know. But, oh, that's the Long Island Railroad. That's another thing you need to know. Hello, train. The train will be here. There it is. Hello, I got to go. That's my ride. Look, my friend Michael Goldberg tells me if there's an elephant in the room, you got to introduce it. So if there's a train in your backyard, you got to introduce it. And that's what I do. So this show, look, I'm the least smart one in the room. I don't know about this animal advocacy stuff. Stop rolling your eyes at me. I know I'm super smart. Like, I'll tell you all about it. Just call me, Val. No, but like, it's when it comes to the topics we discuss on this show, straight up, not my forte. So I'm learning constantly and consistently. Every week we come together and I learn. And, Valerie teaches me a bunch and our guests teach us a bunch and we all learn together. And I think the community at large is better for it. The community of people who are advocates on behalf of animals and those who just like animals. Like who maybe don't get out there and advocate, but are just all about caring for animals. And, Val and I were talking about a couple of other topics the other day. And I mean, gosh, from a compassionate perspective and from a love perspective, and a lot of us at the end of the show, we put up our little hearts, and our guest today, E, was doing it even before the show. Mm-hmm. I mean, how's a person compassionate if they don't care about animals, right? Val's got this whole focus on voters for the voiceless, right? These are creatures that can't protect themselves, and we need to be there to do so. So let me just tell you here's what we think. I got too many ideas in my head at exactly the same time, which it might be difficult to listen to, but try living like this. Try being me. You think, oh my God, he doesn't stop. No, because it's like constantly going. But look, Valerie and I know each other for a whole bunch of years, and we came together with this idea because Val said, I want to do a show again, and this is that show. And so she actually sent me a text message because we only talk 3 times a day. So I needed the text message as well to make sure I hit upon some of the finer points of what we wanted to say. But before I even go into introducing our guest and also telling you more about our vision, I want to tell you this. So this is like my notes. So I'm just going to like read it like I'm in this is like Macbeth and I'm an actor. Valerie and I are thrilled to share that we have had over 25,000 people watch and listen to our show, the Professionals and Animal Lovers show. I know all this. I don't need to. Hello, pom-poms. The pom-poms have made their debut. We've been doing this show since September of 2021, which is only, I'll ask our executive producer on the other side, I'll ask Val, 4 months, but have 14, how many episodes?
4 months.
4 months times 4, maybe like 15-ish or so. And we have a ton of people that are digging the show and watching what we're doing. So look, we've decided to create this opportunity that we think is a win-win and really engage with sponsors, people who are close to the community, close to this advocacy community, have brands that are supportive of the community. And, we're looking to certainly help bring awareness for what we're doing here and also bring awareness to brands that are on point or that I would say are on brand with what we're doing. So if you want to be in the eyes and ears of animal lovers, pet owners, just reach out to us. You can get us Jovi at PALShow.com. And that's Jovi, by the way. That's that guy always trying to take the attention over there. That's Jovi the dog. But and you can also find us on social media stuff, PALShow, P.A.L. show.
I mean, I just have to say, if I were a pet store, or if I had a pet product or service, whether it's doggy daycare, or whether you manufacture cute, cat and dog outfits, or food, or whatever. I mean, our audience is comprised of animal lovers and or pet owners, and people out there making differences in the world of animal welfare. So people who run not-for-profits and rescues, people who are advocating legislatively for better animal welfare laws. These are our people. This is our tribe. This is our wolf pack.
Wolf pack. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's like that's like the Hangover movie, right? With Zach Galifianakis, which is hysterical. How could we ever get through a segment of this show without me referencing a movie? So
never.
We won't. It's funny you say that, Val, because my intention, especially as the weather gets warmer, because it's like 30 degrees today. So as it hits the 40s, here on Long Island, no, kidding aside, I intend to go out and do kind of man on the street type of interviews with local shelters, with local businesses that cater towards our community. So you'll see some of that coming, and maybe that'll be an opportunity to open up some creative strategic partnerships, which is important to me. Look, we believe that the bond between animal lovers is as equally strong as a bond between pets and their owners, right? People who are the caretakers for these animals. And we'll learn today, sometimes owners of animals are not owners forever. Sometimes there's foster situations. Sometimes there's adoption situations. And sometimes there's emails coming in because somebody didn't shut off his Microsoft Outlook before the show started. So that happens too. That's probably somebody that needs a pet rescued, and they're probably reaching out to us. So we'll have to check that. Look, E, we're thrilled to have you here on the show. I'm going to read a little bit of background. We'll dive into the show. We're going to learn about your organization. We're going to learn about the work you're doing. I found out, as I told you earlier, talk about emails. I got an email in my inbox from qnsqueens.com, and they had done a story on your rescue. And I think what I did, I was probably looking for a phone number. I didn't find a phone number, so I went to the Facebook, and the Facebook. Look, E and Val, Mark Zuckerberg called it the Facebook in that movie, so I'm just trying to keep it real to what that happened. I know everybody laughs at me, and yes, I do say this stuff tongue in cheek because it make people laugh, and they're like, he's like an old bumpkin, he doesn't know. So, but all that aside, on the Facebook, I did find your organization, and I reached out, and I was like, Val, you need to talk to E. I don't know much about their organization, but you guys got to connect. So make that all happen, and they did. So here's the thing. I'm reading this right off of some information you provided. We are dedicated. The name of the organization is Ridgewood Rescue. It says we are dedicated to the stray cats. That sounds like isn't that a band? Was that a band? Was that a band? We're dedicated to the stray cats of Ridgewood, Queens. Yes, everybody, I tell you on this show, my other show, Queens, definitely my favorite borough. And I'm sure like the Bronx and Staten Island don't even care that I say that, but I'd like to say it because Queens is my borough. We are an all-volunteer group of TNR certified individuals practicing trap, neuter, plus vaccines and ear tip, and then return for the feral colonies, and then placing these sociable strays into foster and eventually forever homes. So that's cool. So there's this whole give and take there. Like some of these animals they're going to be outside animals, and some that can come into the house. And I know Valerie certainly has some experience in that, bringing in some of the outside animals. Why this comes to me now is that scene in the one with Ben Stiller, the Fockers, okay, the Fockers movie, when Mr. Jinx goes missing, okay, with a Focker, and then he brings in that other cat, and that cat like destroys that like office area with like the wedding dress and like wreaks havoc. So my point is, at least from that movie, which is a great movie, if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been, but you should see that movie. And don't bring in strays that will destroy your house. That's just a little.
Well, in all fairness, that cat ate like 100 milligrams of nicotine gum.
Oh, he chewed the nicotine gum. I forgot that part.
That's an important part. Just saying.
No, that is a very important part. So, okay, so you can bring in strays, but here is the public service announcement. Don't feed them nicotine gum. Thank you, Valerie. Very good point.
Welcome. You're welcome.
That was an oversight on my part. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How are you? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Sitting in my foster room. I'm pretty excited because my foster came out while I was here. We've only had him a couple of days, so he's decompressing, but that's
what's his name?
Geralt.
Geralt.
The Witcher.
What does that mean?
There's a Netflix show called The Witcher, and one of my rescue partners who helped me trap him when we got him was mid-binge on that show. And he's a very light orange cat, and The Witcher is a light blonde big man. So.
Oh man.
I feel like that's half the fun. I feel like naming animals in general, but where I used to live, there was a pretty problematic area for ferals and strays and kittens. So while we were trapping and we hired a trapper, because I'm quite terrible at it, to be honest, I think within a week we got about 15 and we named every single one. And
wow.
One that I cannot even tell you, it's the largest cat I had ever seen outside of something on TV, but it was my first drop trap. And for anyone who doesn't know, there's different kinds of traps. There's like kitten traps, and then there's cat traps, and then there's drop traps.
What's the difference of them? Tell us. Break it down.
So, well, the kitten traps are just smaller traps, and you really want to give it the right amount of space. And the more enclosed they are, the safer they feel. So once they're trapped, you're like throwing a blanket over it right away, so it's dark, and that helps comfort them too. A regular cat trap is meant for just like a regular adult cat. It's larger, obviously, than a kitten trap. And then there's for the cats that are trap savvy or difficult to trap because there's a strong likelihood that they've either almost been trapped before or they even were trapped before, but you can't tell. And once a cat has been trapped, they become very leery, of them. So a drop trap, it's like this giant square trap. It's probably like what, 4 by 4, would you say? Like 4 feet?
Yeah, they come in different sizes, but they're pretty big.
They're pretty, yeah.
Wait, are you just gonna get over the cat and drop it on them?
No. Well, it stands on a stick. Like picture the cartoon where there's like a box standing on top of the stick.
Yeah. And there's like a string.
Yeah, so you hide basically, or you try to get enough distance between yourself and the trap so the cat's not on to the fact that there's someone else involved. And you put food underneath, and when the time is right and they're like completely underneath eating, you pull the string, the trap drops down, and then you have to fly over because they will get out.
Right, because it doesn't have like a bottom, or now is it just like a
bottom?
So this is a trip, man. I was already gonna make a commitment on the show, like I tend to do, and I always keep my commitments. I'm coming out and doing one of these things.
Do it, yes.
I'm totally gonna do it. I mean, I won't
experience.
Forget Nick and Red. I'll eat the whole thing of Benadryl. I have allergies because we talk about it a lot on the show.
Yes.
Only to felines.
Yes.
But I will eat like a whole bunch of Benadryl.
Zyrtec. No, but so check this out though. So the cat I trapped, the largest cat I've ever seen, he was going ballistic. I was peeing my pants because I was like, I'm gonna. And anyway, I named him Shaq. It was like one of the best names.
Great name.
That's a cool name.
Thank you.
May I add a note on drop traps?
Yeah.
First of all, they're very Woody Woodpecker. So if that's the impression you get, that's correct.
Yeah.
But drop traps are super useful as well if you're working on a big colony and you've already trapped and fixed some and you want to target specific cats so that you're avoiding re-trapping cats that have already been fixed and spooking everybody else. So that's when drop traps come really in handy.
Yeah. We got 3 kittens in one
wow, nice.
Once, yeah.
I feel like, I like, you're gonna get mad at me now. Well, maybe you guys won't, but other people who might listen to the show may be upset. I like to go fishing sometimes, and and we've gone like with my kids, like crabbing and stuff like that. Like to catch like 3 is like, that's like, you're like a champion. And then, but this is for a different end game. You know, it's not,
right.
not going to end up being, well, anyway, it's just different. So
a different kind of catch and release.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to really get into and dive into your specific rescue and mission, and where you are with that and how we can all help you and the organization. I'm especially grateful to you for helping these poor, gorgeous, sweet companion animals that really just need some basic humanity in their lives. But I'm thrilled, and I really can't wait to get into it. I know we've got to go to break.
We do. But before we do,
Okay.
Yes.
30 seconds. Tell me, why did this even happen? Like, what did you see that was like, we got to do something here?
30 seconds is not enough.
It is, because we have to tease people.
Yeah, no problem.
We're going to tease them back.
Sure. Well, honestly, it all started when my wife and I found some kittens in our own backyard. And, we luckily have a lovely vet in our neighborhood that talked us through what to do to keep our resident cats safe, but also get the kittens out of the cold and into a safe place. So that was my first experience with saving strays in Ridgewood. And since then, I've met some amazing folks. I learned about TNR because I wasn't aware of what TNR was. And we decided that, if the resources are going to exist for our community, somebody needs to make them.
And that's where we're going to leave it. We're going to tease you guys right on the edge of excitement. We'll be right back. Garcia is here. Valerie, have fun is here. Your boy, Tommy D. We're in the attic. We're everywhere. We'll be right back. Pals.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant. And on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Goodness, I'm so calm. I'm so mellow. Here we are on the PAL Show, your pals, professional animal lover show. Sometimes I just break out into song, and that's
How that is?
Wow. Wow, it's like that. Like that. That's nice. Imagine if we in a real studio, together, and you were so mean. That would not be cool at all. I have a fragile ego, and you're picking on me, Valerie. I'm Tommy D. This is Pals. That's Val. Garcia is here as our guest, representing Ridgewood Rescue. All right, so here's the deal. You and your wife, you see these kittens. You have a house cat, like a domestic cat. I think that's what I call it towards the end of the break or before the break. So, and you see these kittens, which I'll tell you, look, I would probably like cats if they didn't make me sneeze so bad and have to like scratch and itch the back of my head. But like kittens are so friggin' cute. And we had a friend on the show a bunch of months back, and she was telling us that kittens, you don't get as allergic to kittens. Now, I have not tried this out yet because I don't want to sneeze and stuff. But you see these beautiful little kittens, right? And you said your local vet kind of hooked you guys up as well. Like, tell us that story. Like, how does this become not your problem, but how does this become your mission and something you guys wanted to make an impact on?
Of course. So, dealing with the kittens was the easy part. That was fun. Luckily the vet was able to talk us through, how to take them in safely, and they squeezed us in before they technically opened the very next day. We had to pay for it out of pocket, but, we decided we were going to take on the responsibility, and hopefully whoever adopted them could help cover some of the expenses that we incurred taking care of them. But the issue came when we were calling around to local rescues and nobody could help us with the mom, who was feral. But we at least wanted to see if somebody could fix her or do something for her. But all of the rescues are overwhelmed. I'm sure you're aware. So that was our first experience with strays in the neighborhood.
Let me just ask you something about the rescues being overwhelmed, because, Valerie and I talk a lot about what goes on on Long Island, where I am. And I mean, geographically, physically, Queens is part of the island, but everybody who's listening probably understands the difference. Queens being part of the city, I've not done the research, and I don't know if Val has either, but what is the setup in the city? Are they mainly city-run organizations? Are they, are they individually run? Like, what was your experience in doing that and finding out?
Well, back then I didn't know as much as I do now. So I'll preface this by saying that. But there's a lot of different types of animal welfare organizations in the city. There's, of course, the ACC and the ASPCA, which are, city run. But then there's a lot of awesome local cat rescue groups, kind of like Ridgewood Rescue, which is why we kind of decided to go this route, because we saw that this was something that was being done in other neighborhoods. So, and then also, additionally, I've learned that there are a lot of TNR certified individuals who get certified just to deal with the strays in their own yard or the strays on their own block.
So they're not even like an association or an organization. They're like an individual person who's like, we got to do something.
Exactly.
So I have a couple of quick questions. So walk me through the logistics, because when I was never in the city, although I'm very apprised of the NYC AC&C, not a fan. That's the municipal shelter for Manhattan and all boroughs. You trap a cat, and let's say that they actually have an opening for TNR or something. Where are you physically going to? Where do you have to take, like how many miles? Is it even feasible?
So I personally have not taken a cat to the ACC or the ASPCA because they're not accepting new TNR signups, because the people that already have accounts can hardly even get appointments.
Wow.
That's
okay.
how overwhelmed they are.
So how many years ago is this that you started?
Well, we found the kittens in 2018, but
2018.
I didn't start the rescue or anything until literally this past November.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, no, I read that. I was just curious because, case in point, both you and I probably started getting really involved and aware just a handful of years ago. And there's so many people that are my age or even older, and they haven't heard about this stuff. And it's never too late. That's my message. Like, it's never too late to get involved. It's never too late. You can become a certified trapper if you want to help. You can, even, of course, donating money is always great, but there's also things and items that people can donate. Like right now, my heart breaks because I know that there's been such an explosion in the feral cat population, and it's winter and they can freeze. And if they can't find shelter, they're going to take shelter in places that a lot of times is bad for them, like underneath the hoods of your car. And so even donating things like shelters, a lot of people don't know, like for $20, or even if you make one, it's so inexpensive, but you can create actually a place that will give shelter to an animal who really needs them. Sorry, I
No, that's okay. If I can drop some resources along with that note, I and all of my board members, there's 4 of us, we all got certified through a group called Neighborhood Cats in collaboration with the Community Cats podcast. They do their TNR certifications about once a month, and they're virtual now. And they are extremely informative, a really great way to learn more about trapping and how to safely TNR feral cats. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely go check them out. And then with the shelters, as you said, Val, you can make them extremely affordably, even with things that you have laying around. So one of the best things that we've used to create shelters are styrofoam coolers, which are naturally insulative. So when a cat is inside, their body heat warms it and it keeps them warm. And it's super easy to make. We did a really fun volunteer event where we built a bunch of shelters for strays in the neighborhood. I don't know how to pronounce this organization. I think it's Bidoe. Yes. They have an awesome cat shelter building workshop that's free as well.
All right. So a couple of things. First of all, I'm sharing this stuff on the Facebook as we talk
great.
about. Right. So neighborhoodcats.org. I want to make sure that's the right one, right? Like purple and like I'll show you. Actually, I share it too. And then the other thing is just let me know when I'm coming out. We're going to build some of these shelters because I'm all in. I'm on a campaign, a mission to do 60 days of service for nonprofits, and your organization being a nonprofit certainly fits in, and that might keep me from sneezing if I'm just building the houses.
Exactly.
There you go.
I know there's no way Val lets me get away with not going out and trapping and having.
You have to trap. You have to do the drop trap.
I was writing an essay yesterday for a nonprofit that I do some work with out here on the island, and they were talking about waiters. They had waiters like that, not the individual who brings you, your buffalo wings, but like you strap on your waiters as you're going to go. And it made me laugh because I still have to hook up with our friend John DiLeonardo out here on the island and put the waiters on and go save some ducks and stuff like that. So that's up and coming. So
wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that stuff. I tell you that because it's fun. But I would love to do this. I want to ask you, I don't know, I don't think I would have shared this with you on Facebook because I don't think we knew each other yet, but a friend of mine, I'm trying to remember who it was, had like the little children's house in the backyard. Val, remember I tagged you on this? Like somebody was like creating.
Oh yeah, they converted it.
They converted it. Yeah. And they put it up. It was they were like, I'll find it for you, but they were being like cute about it. And why can't I think of who it was? They were being cute, like saying like, we have a 2-bedroom, apartment available, like in, like in Freeport or whatever, and it was like funny, and it was like just bring a blanket or something like that. But so that's critically important what you guys are talking about. Like, I mean,
but you know what? It also, can you imagine, Tommy, if you brought, let's say, the troops, meaning your children. You have 4 children who would what a jump start and what a head start. I mean, had I been involved in a cat cooler shelter building workshop as a child, I would have known about it all those couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, I think like, and I guess
really, what I'm saying? Like it's a great learning and teaching experience too. I think he froze, or did I freeze? Everyone else is frozen. Is it just me?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Sorry. But the other thing I really just want to mention while we have a minute to break is for all rescues out there in New York, dogs or cats or rabbits or ferrets, whatever, and shelters, there is grant money available through the state. The application is through the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. It's $50,000 to $200,000 or anywhere in between. However, there's a matching component, but you can fundraise. It's not like you have to have that money right away, but you can fundraise for that match. But I just wanted to make sure everybody knows about that.
Where is that? Where do you
just Google New York State Agriculture and Markets Companion Animals Grants.
All right. Well, we'll try to Google all that for you, and if you didn't hear all that,
I can post it in the comments section later.
Let's do that later. Yes. Well, we already shared it in the all right. So the communitycatpodcast.com. That's the other group you're saying that does the trainings, right?
Yes, I believe it's communitycatspodcast.com.
Cats, plural. There's a whole bunch of cats.
There's more than one, yeah.
All right, so I'll share that on Facebook. Did you say we're going to break, Valerie?
I did. Well, Sam told me.
So when we go to break, I'm going to share the website for Ridgewood Rescue so you guys can all check it out. But I will say on the rescue, there's a whole bunch of ways for you to get involved. Foster, TNR, volunteer, report a stray, and then there's always the write a check one too. So when we get back, you can tell us more about that. Val, take us to break.
All right, we are going to go to break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to continue listening to this fabulous mission and story. And we are thrilled to have the one and only E. Garcia of Ridgewood Rescue with us today. Yay.
I am Joseph Franklin McElroy, host of the new podcast, Gateway to the Smokies. It airs on talkradio.nyc every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 7. Every episode is dedicated to memorable experiences in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and surrounding areas. This show features experts and locals who will expound upon the richness of culture, history, and adventure that awaits you in the Smokies. Tune in every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 on talkradio.nyc.
Are you passionate about the conversation around racism? Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. TLC, host of the Dismantle Racism Show, which airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc. Join me and my amazing guests as we discuss ways to uncover, dismantle, and eradicate racism. That's Thursdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a small business trying to navigate the COVID-19 related employment laws? Hello, I'm Eric Sauver, employment law, business law attorney, and host of the new radio show, Employment Law Today. On my show, we'll have guests to discuss the common employment law challenges business owners are facing during these trying times. Tune in on Tuesday evenings from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc, now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
I just think, that commercial we do on the station here, I for some reason, I just heard that our song of like, calling all pet lovers. Like, I wanted to say that.
Pet Avengers, assemble.
Oh my gosh. All right. So if you're listening, we're back. Well, we're back if you're watching too, but I'm showing you the website for Ridgewood Rescue. You'll see there was a whole bunch of cats. And I will just say, I could see E and Valerie while we were at break, and I saw like the facial kind of responses of looking at these cats.
Oh yeah,
man, cats have such friggin' incredible eyes. Like their eyes are like, holy cow. No wonder the Egyptians and them all hung out with cats, man. So
they really are incredible. And if there's any truth, Tommy, to you perhaps not your allergies not kicking in around kittens, and I forgot the reason. I think it's because they haven't their hair hasn't turned to fur or whatever. But one of my favorite part about kittens is that their tail is not developed yet. So it's obviously they're not developed at all, but it's so cute because the proportion, typically a cat tail is pretty long, but on a kitten, it's like a stub. It's the cutest thing. It's like a little,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Who told us that? Our friend, the attorney, told us that down in Florida.
Yeah. She was talking about pet.
Heather Maltby.
She fostered, if only she were close to you, E. She fostered over 80 cats and kittens during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
That's
like
amazing.
a beast. Yeah, a really dedicated foster. I wanted to just spit out my idea before I forget, but I've kind of been toying with this in my mind. It's not perfect. That said, I know that a lot of trappers, they network, right? So sometimes if I'm a trapper and I have 2 appointments somewhere, and I didn't get the cats that I had the appointments for, they'll put it up on a page and say, if anyone needs 2 appointments or whatever. And that kind of got me thinking, like, what if there was, let's say your organization, you don't have to, if you hate the idea, don't do it. But what if there was like a center or like a place of resources, almost like a library, like a TNR library, where like, because I know trappers lend each other traps also, or like, does anyone have a drop trap because I really need one, and that kind of stuff. What if there was like a shed or, you know, a space where there were these items that almost like a library, you know, you can borrow it and return it, and everybody could pool resources with.
Yeah, I have multiple things to say about that.
Okay.
Neighborhood Cats does lend out traps, which is really amazing because, you know, cost is definitely prohibitive for some folks that want to help. But they've got a trap bank and they lend them, which is amazing.
Trap bank.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
And then we had a board meeting last night, and one of the things that we talked about, we've connected with a lot of individuals that do TNR or foster with other amazing organizations that also want to get involved here in Ridgewood. And we're hoping to do a sort of local TNR get together where we can all connect and talk about some of the work that we've done, common problems we've come across, as well as, you know, since we're now an established organization, unfortunately, we've got a queue of TNR projects that is continuing to grow. But if we can connect with other certified individuals that might be able to take on some of these projects, I think that'll be a great way for us to build upon our impact. So
I gotta jump in here because I'm not clear on something. So if the trapper, whether it be your organization or kind of like a rogue, for lack of a better word, trapper, like can't go to either the ASPCA, I think the other acronym was ACC or ACA, I forget which it was. Who's actually doing the work? You know, now I have the animal. What happens if I can't get an appointment? Because that's what I'm hearing you say, that is that correct? Am I accurate on that?
Yes, that's a huge problem. The free spay neuters are basically impossible to come by these days. Gotcha. But there are some really awesome local vets and organizations that are at least doing low cost spay neuter, which includes the vaccinations, Revolution, and the ear tip. And so that's who we've been mainly using. So our 2 main ones are Helping Paw, which is actually out in East Meadow. They do a spay neuter clinic. I believe it's every week. And they often can give us a handful of slots. And then the Neighborhood Vet, which is in Bushwick, just this past weekend did their first high volume, low cost spay neuter specifically for rescues.
What are you talking about price wise when you say, so now I understand. So I wasn't catching the point that what you can't get access to is free, right? Yeah. So what you can get access to is, I guess it's obvious, you know, if you're willing to pay for it, but what does that cost? Like, and is there even another angle of like going, well, it'd be cool if you wrote us a check for $500 because that would get, you know, like in nonprofit, people like to go, I did that, right? I wrote that check. So what exactly, because I have no frame of reference, which means other people who are listening might have no frame of reference either. What does this even cost to have done?
So it ranges quite a bit. Our 2 main ones range between $86 and $130, depending on what services we're getting. But, you know, compared to what a private pet owning citizen would pay, that's a pretty good price. And that's what the majority of our donations go to, are to these appointments. And then, you know, we have the handful of friendlies that we've trapped that need, unfortunately, a lot of medical attention. So vet bills are our #1 expense, no question.
Yeah. And so if people were to, I remember I was involved with a not-for-profit, it was about for breast cancer. And we came up with this idea, actually, I will take credit for it because I was very proud of it. But we had like a table on an event that it said like sponsor a mammogram. This was years ago before the whole healthcare system changed. But you know, we teamed up with like Zwanger, and I believe it was $250 or something and to pay for a mammogram on behalf of someone else. So I'm just thinking, and people did it. I was so happy about that. I was thinking, maybe they could sponsor a spay or sponsor a snip or, snip, whatever. But it's interesting because, in fact, even the low cost spay neuter clinics are slammed. They are slammed. Like they'll do 50, 70, 90 cats in one day or one weekend. And there's still a ton more need. So, I feel what we need most is awareness on this issue, because I really believe that if everybody knew, then a lot more people would donate. They would want to get hands-on involved and become trappers and, get in the trenches and build those shelters. And I really feel that that's the number one priority, is to really raise awareness to this issue, because it is exploding.
It is, especially with COVID. We've gotten a lot of reports. There's the main colony that we're currently working on started with just a couple of dumped cats, and now there's 16 and counting, because it's unfortunately become a bit of a known dumping spot, I think.
Where, why? Is it a parking lot? What's the deal there?
So it's behind a really big apartment building in our neighborhood that connects to a network of backyards. So it's a very large outdoor space, but luckily there are quite a few people in the building that care for the cats. And we were able to go and create a handful of insulated shelters in 2 areas in the building. So, it's definitely, the other note to bringing awareness is spaying and neutering your own pets is really important. Because
oh my God, yes.
Worst case, if they get out, you want to at least make sure that they're not contributing more cats to the problem, because kittens born out on the street, they don't have a very high survival rate. They don't have access to good food. Their mom probably isn't very well fed or cared for, can't sustain the life of a whole litter of kittens. So the fewer kittens that can be born out on the streets, the better.
And I really, again, awareness being the main issue and priority, because I don't think most people understand how quickly 2 cats can turn into 100. 2 cats.
Yeah, let's do those numbers, because we did those last year when we had our friend Tina Traster on the show, right? Didn't we talk about? Or maybe you and I just talked about it one day. I don't know. I just. Because isn't it what's the thing? How often can a cat have a litter?
So one female can have 3 to 4 litters a year. Let's say 3.
I think Val.
And in one litter, you have 2 to 6 kittens per litter.
All right, you can have 3 to 4 litters a year.
So if you have, sorry.
You're good. 2 to 6 per kid. So if you have 6 and you have 4, that's 24 that one mom could have in 1 year.
Yes, but so here's the interesting part. The first batch of kittens can start getting pregnant as early as 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, I guess that thing about rabbits, is it really, I know everybody makes that joke, that's an old joke, but it sounds like cats are in the same world as far as that goes.
Yes.
That's why it can get exacerbated so fast like that. It's just forget about it. Wow.
And that's also why winter is a really important TNR season, because you want to try to get as many cats in a colony fixed before kitten season.
Right. Although I do feel like it's almost kitten season year round at this point.
It's true.
I hate to say it, but it's true. And I really want to thank you, E. And I mean, we're not done. I should probably wait till towards the end, but I'm always afraid of getting stuff. But I really want to thank you, because we talk about one person and how much one person can do. What can one person do? The ripple effect is incredible. And so what you've done was you recognize the problem that you care about. You said, we're going to have to do more than status quo, and look at all that you're doing. You know, like you have your now organization, you're out there, boots on the ground, you're helping the animals, you're helping your community, you're educating people. I love people like you.
Thank you. I just want to say I would be nowhere without my rescue partners. I'm not just one person doing this work.
Shout them out, E. Who are they?
Yeah.
They're Franzi, Ella, and Christine.
Thank you all. Franzi, Ella, and Christine. Good looking out. Like when you all go out, do you have uniforms? Because I would like to have I would like to have a jumpsuit, like a Ghostbusters. I'm not saying I'm not like a big time celebrity. Like I don't come with this like list of like I need, green M&Ms, but just a basic jumpsuit with my name, Tommy D, on there, and like your organization's logo on the back. Nothing big, E. I'm not asking for a lot. I mean, I'll even buy it. You just gotta help me get it. Come on, costumes and uniforms are funny, Val. You know it. I did threaten that I was gonna. Well. I did. What? Oh, we got some swag. I knew there it is. That's a nice hoodie. I like that.
It was a test.
It was a test. Well, I got my friend Fred Taffer does a lot of work with nonprofit organizations, and I just hooked him up one of my friends to do some swag for them. So that's good stuff. But I'm thinking jumpsuit. I'm thinking like Carhartt or Dickies. And anyway, we got to go to a break. The guy's he's being silly again. I'm sorry. You all must like it because you keep coming back. E. Garcia's here, Val's here, Tommy D's here. We're going to break. We'll be right back. Pals.
Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Mind Behind Leadership, where we focus on what leadership really means to us and to others. We have practical discussions with the CEOs of some of the world's largest companies, owners of small businesses, and experts in psychology and behavior to get that inside track, what to do, what to avoid, and what really happens. Join me, Graham Dobbin, at the new time, 4 p.m. every Tuesday for the Mind Behind Leadership, here live on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Calling all pet lovers.
Pet Avengers, assemble!
On the Professionals and Animal Lovers show, we believe the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. It mirrors that bond between pets and their owners. Through this program, we come together to learn, educate, and advocate.
Join us live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Okay, best song ever. That literally is like, to me, the song of compassion. I just feel
paid like $20 for it, didn't we?
I think it was $9.
$9.
Well worth it. Well, I would like actually for you to listen to the whole song one day because it just keeps kind of like blossoming like a flower.
Listen, I meditate, right? I do a lot of that stuff. I try to go inside. So I will just mellow out and listen to the song. How long is it?
It's like 5 minutes.
I'll listen to it like 19 times in a row.
Perfect. So listen, I would be remiss, or we would be remiss, if I didn't also bring up the fact that E is our very first non-binary guest. And I really want to bring that into the loop because I feel it's very important, but also I feel it's very connected. And again, this show is absolutely, we want to spotlight people who love animals and who are doing good things for the animals, regardless of what you do for a living or whatever walk of life you're in. I love those people. But also, to me, I mean, Tommy brought it up at the beginning of the show. If you can't be compassionate towards animals, you're probably not compassionate towards people. And when it comes to non-binary, or if you're a different religion, or if you're a different, ethnic background, it's all compassion. To me, that's the common thread. So again, I commend you for not only what you do for the animals, but for being a thought leader and for being true to yourself. And so I would love if you could share your story. I would love for our audience to hear that too.
Sure. Just about my understanding of my gender.
Yeah, or how you went about going out and declaring you're non-binary before people were even really talking about it.
Sure. Honestly, I think if I had the vocabulary and the knowledge, I would have been out pretty much as a 3-year-old. When I was in kindergarten, my parents wouldn't let me get a mohawk. And so I decided if I couldn't have a mohawk, I didn't want any hair. And I buzzed it off. And I kept a buzz cut all of elementary school.
How old were you when you buzzed your hair?
I was either 4 or 5.
Oh, that's awesome. Way to go.
Wow.
So, it's always been who I am. But unfortunately, as many non-binary, trans, queer, effeminate men, anybody, I was bullied a lot. And so I kind of decided that fitting in, being feminine was going to be the easier route. And it wasn't until the end of 2013 that I first heard the word genderqueer. I think this was before non-binary was really a part of our cultural conversation. Mm-hmm. And when I heard it, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, that's what it is. I didn't realize that there were options other than male or female, because I'm not a trans man. I'm also not a woman. And so once I heard that was when I started learning more and seeing what felt right for me. And, it's a long process. I'm still learning how to talk to people about it. I don't always feel safe bringing it up. You never know how people will react. But going back,
isn't that so hypocritical? I'm sorry, I just have to jump with this thought. Like we live in this society where like on paper, everyone's like, just be true to you, and you be you, and whatever it is that's your calling, go for it, and all of that. But then when people are actually talking about what's right for them or how they really feel, then they get bullied, or they get ostracized by their family, or whatever it is. I mean, isn't that just, it's bullshit.
It is.
Wow. We don't curse on the show, Val.
I know, I forgot.
No, but it is bullshit. You're right on. It totally is. So I curse too.
I give you so much credit. I mean, a friend of mine she was dating a long time, and she was, dating men. And she really one day just came, she said very logically, she was like, I'm going to give it another 6 months and then I'm going to try dating women. And I was like, really? Like, it's very logical. She's like, yeah, I figure like I'm doubling my chances or whatever. She was very logical about it. And I was like, okay, but guess what? Now she had a girlfriend. She doesn't now, but the point is that she knows who she is and she's really happy. And isn't that what matters?
Yeah. And I think going back to the compassion note, the first person you need to have compassion for is yourself. You have to be kind to yourself. And if you're curious about something, allow yourself the space to learn more about it and give yourself space to change and explore. I think that's an important note for everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very special. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Compassion, baby. Compassion. Yeah. What it's all about, damn it.
I got to know, because I have a show on Fridays. It's called Philanthropy in Focus, and I always kind of have in the last segment of the show, how can we help? And I say that especially when it's organizations like yours that are in the nonprofit sector. How can we help?
There are a million ways to help.
We only have 3 minutes, so give me 4.
There we go. If you're local to Ridgewood, or we're really close to a couple of other neighborhoods, fosters, we need fosters, because if we pick up a sociable cat, we don't really have a place for them to go if we don't have a foster home. So that's something that we're really, really trying to build up right now, is our network of fosters. That's one way. You can follow us on socials. It's always helpful to have a wider audience, so you can help us share our adoptable cats, and you can learn more about the work that we're doing and how you can get involved. So following us is always helpful. Signing up to volunteer. I've had some wonderful folks who have offered to even just have conversations if they're not local to the area, to chat about fundraising best practices or email or website, anything like that, because I'm learning on the fly, you know.
Yeah.
And any advice I can get is really helpful. And finally, of course, donate. As I said, our spay neuter is not free. Our TNR stuff is not free. So without donations, we can't do this work, quite literally. So
literally money. All right. So here's a couple things I got. Follow you. It's Ridgewood Rescue everywhere, right? That's what we're looking for. Ridgewood Rescue. That's the first thing. Follow. Second thing is, with your permission, I'd like to buy you a membership, your organization, a membership in the Queen's Chamber of Commerce. I'm very well connected to the Queen's Chamber. Yeah, at the highest level. And the CEO is a friend of mine, and Brendan Levy is another buddy of mine who runs their business development. So I'd like to do that.
That's so kind of you. That's so kind. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll talk.
Tommy to Visa.
We'll talk about that offline. And then the last one is donate, which they can do right through the website. And the website is ridgewoodrescue.com.
Or Venmo. Venmo is.
Oh, I saw that. It's like an at Ridgewood Rescue, I think I saw right on the website while I was looking at. Yeah. So look, that's it. That's how the universe is working, right? I got this email from QNS.com. I saw they featured you and your organization, and that's how quick things happen. So we're glad you're now a friend of the show. I don't promise these things like coming out and building igloo coolers into structures unless I'm really going to do it. So we'll do a day of service like that. We'll figure out, get the logistics. If that next time Valerie is in New York, we'll get her out to build some stuff. And she just wants to do that Woody Woodpecker trap. Like I saw her face light up. She's like, and then you go hide behind the building and then you pull the string. I'm like, I'm not real sure you're doing this to be nice or not. I think you're being a little sneaky. But I will make Val do some work with us when she comes back. I want to just thank you for being here. Val, I want to thank you for sharing this. This is your vision. I'm just being part of it, and I dig you, and I dig
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, E.
You guys are awesome.
So before we go, just want to say next week on the show, Sandy Weaver will be here. She has been involved with dog sports and Siberian Huskies, and she's a judge, Val, right? An AKC judge. We'll talk about that next week. We don't have the time, but check in with us on the show. I leave you with this, as I do every week. In his total commitment to nonviolence, Gandhi always included the animals by stating, the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Make it a great day, everybody.
Amen. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yay, Gandhi.
Yay, Gandhi.